Shalom, shalom. Before we get started, I like to face the east. I like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Quadash. And double honors to those great millstone while unto is true. And also to the Ophilat that is scattered abroad. I like to say, shalom. Come back here today with another live camp through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So, the title of today's lesson is the signs of the end. So that's where we at right now. We seeing all the signs, coming up to the Lord's great and glorious return. And also we know that our salvation is at the door. And one thing about it is that we know that we are very close, because the Bible prophecy are constantly lining up just like clockwork. We're seeing what's going on in the world right now. We're seeing a lot of different things that, that this so-called Esau Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of, we're seeing that he constantly bringing, all sorts of confusion, all sorts of psyops, false flag events, crisis actors, a lot of different things that's coming upon us. So we already know what's in the news, been in the news for the last couple of days about this dude named CK. We'll put it like that. We have to be careful what we say. We know that he was unalive in broad daylight on national TV, but we don't know whether what to say about that. But we know right now that as of right now they're saying that he was unalive, and a lot of these Esau Edom, these right wingers, they are talking about they want to stand up and I think I seen a video where it said about a white man fight back. So one thing about it, that, so we know that he's going to resort to that sword sooner or later. And the men of the Lord, we constantly warn you about what's getting ready to happen upon this earth. We know that Jacob's trouble is out the door. We're seeing that they come with this digital society left and right, this Palantir, they're getting ready to come with this new database, Gideon, all that's going to work hand in hand, as big brother watching system, under highly of surveillance. And when you go into that word SMART, that acronym SMART goes into surveillance, monitoring, reporting, analysis, technology, it goes into those type of things. So we coming upon that time, it's going to be run off that blockchain system. So also we seeing a lot of things that's happening over there between Russia and Poland, so things are constantly escalating over there. So they already called for Article 4 over there, Poland trying to make a decision whether they want to react or try to say that it was just something that happened and it was nothing meaningful behind it, but that's what they're trying to figure out now. So we're seeing that rumors of wars are all over the place. A lot of things are constantly happening left and right. In the middle of the Lord out here standing out here on our watch, the highways of the byway, making those video a pistol, but the time is going to come where they're going to shut the internet down. Right now, it says high time to wake out of sleep and also to seek the Lord while he can be found by his mouthpiece, by the prophets. The Lord, he said, I tell you these things, but before they occur, before they happen. When you go to Isaiah chapter 42, so we're seeing right now that we're coming upon a great tribulation period that we have never seen before. So these things are coming upon us at a fast pace. World War III is constantly brewing. We're seeing what's going over there in the Middle East. We're seeing Iran and Israel. These things are constantly, they're going back and forth right now. The Lord already said these things will have rumors of war. People constantly preparing for war. You see what's going on down there in Venezuela, between Venezuela and America. They're talking about fighting crime, keeping migrants out and keeping the drugs out. Well, we're here to help you. You're trying to make America great again. But one thing about we already know that this place is constantly circling the drain. Babylon the Great, which in fact is America, is what is finished. We know that we here, man. These things are coming upon us at a fast pace. We know that the signs of the times are here, man. So we seeing all these different things that happen around the world. Also, what happened right there in over there in India, Kathmandu. We're seeing that how they said they bucked up against the government because of the internet. A lot of those people rising up. We're seeing a rising up in France. They overthrowing the government over there. They saying that these African nations, they are done with constantly sending them resources and trying to keep their economy going while they're still poor. So we're seeing right now that these heathens are raging right now. We're seeing that these nations are constantly rising against nations. We're seeing a lot of things are happening, You know what I'm saying? A lot of things is constantly happening left and right, making sure my device ain't overheating, you know, because right now it's kind of humid. But we seeing right now these things are here. So I wrote down a lot of little key points. You know, we seeing earthquakes in diverse places. And also we knowing that these National Guards are getting ready to come into Memphis. You know what I'm saying? They changed their mind about going into Chicago for right now. But we knowing that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. We already know he's going to be like a roaring lion. You know what I'm saying? Out about it, we got to put on the whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. A lot of these things are constantly happening. This digital infrastructure is coming to pass. We already knowing that, you know, that little by little, they're constantly putting it into place left and right. Already telling you about this real ID, you know, that you got to have this, you got to have that. So everything's coming down to identity, biometrics, you know, a lot of things are coming left and right. So we seeing right now, things are changing, you know, by the end of this year, you know what I'm saying? We already know they probably going to be pretty much done with the dollar going into 2026. So we coming in upon these very turbulent time. It's called Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are getting ready to find out that the prophet was telling them the truth the whole time. In that day, they shall know that a prophet was among them. So we'll start here first in the book of we'll start here first in the book of Matthews. Start here first in the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 24. We'll start here first. The book of Matthew chapter 24. We'll start up at verse 21. And it reads, said, for then shall be greater tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Verse 22 said, for except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So that's what we're coming upon, a great tribulation period that we have never seen before. You know, it's already been, you know, warnings of what, a famine, of great plagues, tribulation, economic collapse, this great persecution of the saints. You know, already was said and I think in a Fox, a news anchor has said that about the homeless, that, you know, just get rid of them, give them a lethal injection. So we coming upon this time. You know, when you go to Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10, you know, it says the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Be thy faithful until what? To death. So we coming upon this time. Also, when you get around to it, look up the Noahide laws. A lot of these things are coming into play. We seeing that we're here, man. It's at the door. So the signs of the ends are right before our eye. They constantly, you know, manifesting and being revealed, obvious and clear that we're here. Every day we're seeing that some type of event or some type of calamity is going down. So we pretty much seeing that the world is pretty much in turmoil. This place is finished. And one thing about it, that we already know that we seeing that this gospel is constantly being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Then shall the end come. That's where we at right now. We seeing that the internet is doing what? Most of the heavy lifting right now. That's what we constantly want you, left and right. So let's go here. Let's go back and read this once again. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. It said, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh, but be saved. But to the elect, for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So right now, so the Lord is shortening these days for the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Shalom, everyone on the coming board. Shalom. But one thing about it, we seeing right now that these things are coming upon us. The signs of the end is right before our eye. In the middle of the Lord, we constantly warn you. These things are being manifest left and right. We seeing over in Nepal. We seeing in India. We seeing over there in France. We seeing in the UK. Right here in our own backyard, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's a lot of uprising, nation rising against nation, rumors of wars. You know what I'm saying? We seeing what civil unrest right here in our own backyard. A lot of things are happening. So the Lord is accelerating time. We're seeing the time is constantly speeding up. So I looked up went to the little Google search of a great tribulation, and, you know, give a little bit more understanding of what that great tribulation is all about. It said the great tribulation is a relatively short period of time where everyone will experience worldwide hardship, persecution, disaster, famine, war, pain, and suffering, which will affect all of creation and precede judgment of all when the second coming takes place. So right there, that's where we at. We're at the second coming of our Lord and Savior, suffering, great pain, great mourning. You know what I'm saying? These things are coming upon us at a fast pace. These plagues, they're not slacking down for a moment. You already know what happened over there in Russia. You know, I think it was yesterday morning, whereby they had a 7.4, but they said it was about. They said they redid it and said it was about an 8.8, and it says now that that now it had an 8.8 several months ago. Now they had another one that was a 7.4. You know, it's an earthquake. So we see these constantly earthquakes pretty much every day in diverse places around the world. Just like the Bible said, when you keep going into Matthew chapter 24. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing right now the signs of the times are here. And the men of the Lord, we constantly warning you left and right. These things are here and they are at the door. Let's go here to 1 Thessalonians. And one thing, but we know perfectly well what time that we're living in. Let's go here to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Let's get this right. We're just a quick live and stuff like that. You know, it's high time, you know what I'm saying, to prophesy. These things right here is right in front of our faces, man. A lot of people right now is going to be, you know what I'm saying, in for a rude awakening. Let's go here, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. We'll start up at the top. So we seeing these things are happening, man, at a fast pace, man. We seeing right now, man. Let's see here. Let's go here. Get this phone back to acting right. Let's see. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1 said, but of the times and season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about we seeing what's coming. You know what I'm saying? The proof man foresees the evil. You know what I'm saying? And hides himself. But we know that time and season that we're in. You know what I'm saying? We're in a great tribulation period. You know, we're coming upon Jacob's trouble. You know, the seasons are changing. The tables are turning. The writing's on the wall. We see it, you know what I'm saying, what time it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, you know, have no reason to write unto us, because we're knowing what? The true believers. You know what I'm saying? The 1/3, the elect. Verse 2, he said, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. So one thing about it, you know, the day of the Lord is going to come like a thief in the night. You know, when people are not watching, when they are not aware, when a lot of people are constantly relaxing in their leaves, thinking that they're a good case, and all hell is getting ready to break loose right before us. That's why the Lord said, you know what I'm saying, you always got to be watching, got to be praying, you got to be circumspect, redeeming the time wise, because we living in some very evil time. Verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So right now, you know what I'm saying, it's in peace and security right now. You know, they keep talking about peace talk, you know, making things better. You know, that's coming together. That stopped the Ukraine war. That stopped all the fighting between Israel and Hamas over in Palestine. You know, it's just like they saying like, hey, you know, look, we're here for peace. You know, we're going to stop all this. You know, everything is going to be fine. We know that everything is not going to be fine. We know that all hell is going to break loose. We know that America is going to be totally destroyed. We know that these ICBM missiles are going to fly. Right now, we're in peace and security. It's time to seek the Lord right now. Let's read this once again. It says, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, and travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So we're coming upon that time. You know what I'm saying? Great tribulation. You know, a lot of men's going to be travailing. A lot of people going to be afraid when all this lawless time coming upon us. You know, we're seeing that one people should stand up and fight against another. The stage is already set. We're seeing that these military builders are all across America right now. A lot of people, our people, which if I got a 2/3 unbelievable, they're playing games, and all of a sudden we see this man's constantly mobilizing military troops around the world. This place is slowly becoming a police state. Also, when you look up that movie, it was like a documentary. He didn't get a chance to make it. It was called The Gray State. You know, he was just putting it down left and right, exactly what was getting ready to go down. That's where we at right now. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 4 said, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Verse 5 said, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. Said, we are not of the night nor of darkness. So one thing about it, you know, we're not in darkness. You know exactly where what's getting ready to happen. A lot of people right now in darkness. You know, a lot of people are still walking in the congregation of the dead. They're getting ready to be physically dead very soon. This place is getting ready to be totally destroyed with those ICBM missiles. That's what we're constantly saying. Verse 6 said, therefore, let us not sleep First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 6 said, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. So that's what we're doing. We're watching, you know what I'm saying? Being vigilant. You know, we watching the signs of the time. We're measuring the time diligently in itself. So we seeing, you know, with that measure, we seeing what the scriptures are saying. We know that we're very close. Sober means having a sober mind. You know what I'm saying? Having the right mindset, you know. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time. That's where we at right now. We're seeing a lot of things are happening. Let's go here to St. John's. Let's go here to St. John's chapter 16, verse 33. St. John chapter 16 and verse 33. I brought my little notepad. A lot of little key points I wrote down on this little notepad so I wouldn't forget them. You know, certain things and articles I've been seeing. I just want to bring them out at a certain period of time. So I brought my little notepad today so I wouldn't forget them, because a lot of things I've been forgetting. There's so much things that's been happening, you know, it's through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shai that we won't forget. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and one thing about it, we're seeing right now that we're getting closer and closer. We're living in some very exciting time. St. John chapter 16 and verse 33. Let's get this right quick. St. John chapter 33, Salakia. St. John chapter 16 and verse 33. It said, these things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. Say, in the world, say, ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So the Lord, you know what I'm saying? We already know what the Lord, what he went through, what his walk was. You know what I'm saying? The Lord overcame the world. You know what I'm saying? The Lord became that living sacrifice for us. You know what I'm saying? He died for us. You know what I'm saying? We can be redeemed back. You know what I'm saying? Back under the, you know what I'm saying? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? We are, you know what I'm saying? We are washed in the blood of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? We are clean with this what? With this word, with this wisdom, this knowledge. The Lord has overcome. We also shall overcome. So we coming upon this time, man. We are so very excited. So we know that great tribulation period is fast approaching. Let's go here to 2nd Esdras. Let's make sure I'm still running. Let's go here to 2nd Esdras, making sure I'm still running. Yeah, I'm still running. And we seeing right now, man, these things, man, right before our eyes, man. Let's go here to 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 6. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 6. 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 24. 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 24. And it says here, it says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. It said, and the earth shall stand in fear. So with those that dwell therein. Said the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and say, and 3 hours they shall not run. So we seeing right now that the time is coming where friends shall fight one against another. So we coming upon that time, a lawless time, civil unrest. You know what I'm saying? A civil war, protesting. We seeing this protesting all around the world. You know what I'm saying? One people shall stand up and fight against another. We seeing that it's happening. You know, we seeing a great division. The Lord is calling this division all around the world. You know, and one thing about it, you know, out of you on Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, which you fact out of 1/3, out of you are of this world, which you fact out of 2/3. The heathens and the 2/3, they get ready to be totally destroyed. That's what we constantly warn you about left and right. So it says here once again, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 24, it said, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. It said, and the earth shall stand in fear. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. He's standing up right now. We're seeing what's going over there in France. You know, some precursors of what is coming to America. You know, they're overthrowing the government, and we're seeing that their places on fire over there. They don't want to have anything, you know what I'm saying, to do with the government anymore. They shall not regard their kings and princes. You know, we go over these things left and right, but we're seeing it right before our eyes. Verse 25 says, whosoever remaineth, 2nd Ezra chapter 6, and verse 25 says, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. So that's where we at right now. We're coming close to the end of this world, of this earth age. You know what I'm saying? We're in that transition of power right now. And the one, you know what I'm saying, that the Lord is coming back to deliver us, you know what I'm saying, in fact, it's the elect. We're coming upon this time, this great tribulation period. We constantly warning you left and right. But the Lord said, for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. So we're seeing these days left and right are getting shorter and shorter. We're getting closer and closer to the Lord's second coming. Also, we're seeing all these different objects and different things they keep coming up with about this 3-eye atlas. You know, they keep telling you about that. They're saying it was going to be here in, I think they said November. Now they're saying about the end of September, October. So a lot of these things, you know, they're going back and forth. So we're not ignorant of Satan's device. So he constantly using all sorts of things, whether it's a psyop, might be propaganda, could be false flag. You know, so a lot of these things he's bringing forth, this order out of chaos, to get what he wants to bring forth, his agenda, his plan. That's why we got to do here, right here. Let's go here to Ephesians. Now, first, before we go to Ephesians, let's go into Second Thessalonians. Let's get this right quick. This is what he's trying to do, is get that advantage. You know what I'm saying? Satan trying to get that advantage. The physical counterpart of Satan is the Esau Edom, the modern day so-called white man. Let's go here. So I can get my phone to act right. Freezing up on me. One moment. Let me see here. Second Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So one thing about, we know the physical counterpart of Satan is what? Esau Edom. And also, you know, he's trying to get that advantage. What is that advantage? No, his agenda, his plan, you know what I'm saying? His new world order, one world currency, one world government. You know, make you a petrol slave. That's what we constantly warn you about, left and right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our people, you know, right here, you know what I'm saying, they're going on with their daily life. They're thinking that everything is a good case. And all these things are happening around the world, left and right. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing right now that, you know what I'm saying, this devil is getting ready to put his plan into place. So let's read this once again. It says here, that Satan should get an advantage. You know, we know the physical counterpart of Satan is what the Esau Edom. You know what I'm saying? And said, for we are not ignorant of his device. Who is not ignorant of his device? It's talking about the elect, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. You know, the one that, you know what I'm saying, that's in the know. The one that's constantly in these highways and byways. The one that's constantly sighing and crying. The one that's standing on their watch. The one that's standing on fire for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. These video pistols. So it's going to come a time whereby, you know, you won't be able to see these men, you know, in several states. You won't be able to turn the YouTube on. You know what I'm saying? They'll get rid of the internet. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get rid of a lot of different things. You know, freedom of speech, famine of the word is fast approaching. That's why we constantly warning you left and right. We're very, very close to them getting ready to come down upon the children of Israel. This man is getting ready to come down with great wrath, but we're not ignorant of his device. He's trying to get that advantage. And what is that advantage? It's total control. That's what we constantly warning you about left and right. When you go to Revelation chapter 13, we already know that what the MRK, it is here. You know what I'm saying? The Charagma. These things are right before, you know, Shalom, there one on the coming board, Shalom. And one thing about it, that we seeing that, man, these things are right before our eyes. So when you go into that word device, it goes into that man mindset, his purpose, his agenda, his evil plot. That's what he's getting ready to bring forth. You know what I'm saying? We constantly warning you left and right. Let's read it once again. You know, it said here, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. We are not ignorant of his devices. You know what I'm saying? We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're not not knowing what this man is getting ready to do. He basically putting it right in front of your eyes. Also, we knowing about the Charlie Kirk. We knowing about this woman on this subway that supposedly got, you know, unalive, or supposedly had did you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A lot of those things are coming out. So we seeing that the Lord is constantly making Esau bare. You know, he cannot hide himself. You know what I'm saying? We seeing right now that things are constantly coming out on this man. The man of sin is being revealed. The man of what? Perdition. You know what I'm saying? The man of what? Destruction. So let's go here to 2 Thessalonians. Let's go here to 2 Thessalonians. Let's go there right quick. 2 Thessalonians. Let's go here. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And we'll start up at verse 1. It says here, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 1 says, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him. Said verse 2 said, that ye be not soon shaken in the mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that day of the Hamashiach is at hand. So, you know, we're not shaking in the mind. You know what I'm saying? We're not in the, you know, we're in the right spirit. You know what I'm saying? We're in the right mindset. We know exactly what time that we're living in. We seeing the signs of the times of year. Verse 3 said, It says here, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3 said, let no man deceive you, said, by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, not but the son of destruction. Talking about what? Esau Edom, you know what I'm saying? The modern day so-called white man, not about a great falling away goes into what, 70 AD. So one thing about it, we know that this time is right upon us. It's obvious and clear that we're here. Verse 4, you know what I'm saying? So it's no, a lot of, it's not hard to see who is causing all these problems upon this earth, who is constantly destroying everything, who is constantly doing this right here. Said, who is opposing and exalting himself above all that is called God, or that is worshiped, so that he is God, sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So one thing about it, so that's exactly what this man is doing. You know what I'm saying? Left and right, he's constantly what? Opposing, and he's constantly what? Exalting himself each and every day with this what? This pseudo side. You know what I'm saying? With his technology. You know what I'm saying? With his lying wonders. A lot of these things that he constantly put in place. That's why the Lord said, take heed that no man deceive you. Shalom, shalom. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, you know what I'm saying? We're here, man. These things are at the door, man. And that's why we constantly want you left and right. A lot of people, say, oh, what are you talking about? These things are, we're good. We watching football, this bread and circus show. People, still getting rocked back to sleep. People sitting up watching football right now. All getting ready for my birthday. I'm getting ready to say, hey, you're getting ready to get caught off guard. You're getting ready to get caught up in that evil net. It says here, it said, verse 5, it said, remember, it said, yet not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. Verse 6 said, and now, said, ye know what withholding that he might be revealed in his time. So he might be revealed in his time. And this time right now, we're seeing right now who this man of perdition is, this man of sin is. We go to Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And one thing about it, it's obvious and clear who is this red devil that's causing all these problems across the world, left and right. We're seeing right now this man is getting ready to come down with great wrath. And a lot of people are in for what? A rude awakening. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7 said, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Say, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. The mystery of iniquity doeth already work. We're seeing it right now. The revived Roman Empire is at work right now. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing all sorts of wickedness, all sorts of abomination. You know what I'm saying? All sorts of things that is displeasing to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. And say, he who now led it, who is that? They're talking about Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. The Lord's calling this man to do his bidding for that short season. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, he is the sword of the Lord from the left-hand side. So he's doing the Lord bidding, but he only have a short season to doing it. But now he's seeing that his time is determined. It said until he be taken out the way. So we're at the point where this red devil is getting ready to be taken out the way, because he's seeing right now that his days are determined. He's seeing right now that he's at the end. He is finished. And there's nothing that he can do anymore. But you know what I'm saying? Prophecies are being fulfilled. It says here, verse 8, it said, and then shall that wicked be revealed. We already know he's being revealed. So who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So when the Lord returns, that's why he said, look to the east, to the brightness of my coming. That fathership. You know what I'm saying? When the Lord returns, his great glory and his great power. The Lord's coming to deliver the elect. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good for us and bad for them. Also, when you go to Zechariah chapter 5, chapter 5, it'll tell you about, you know what I'm saying? He's getting ready to enter into the house of the thief. And who is that thief? Esau Edom. You know what I'm saying? Constantly robbing, stealing, and killing. You know what I'm saying? So we upon that time where the Lord's getting ready, hey, he's getting ready to do the thing to this man. Let's go here to Isaiah chapter 33, something I want to get out of there. So we see it right now. So we constantly, telling this man, he's being revealed through his mouthpiece, through the prophet. We constantly sign this place down left and right. We constantly telling you, you know what I'm saying, about the impending danger. We're telling you about prophecy. We're telling you about war. We're telling you about family. We're telling you about a great time of trouble. And also we're telling you the judgment of these of the two-third and also these heathen nations. Of what we constantly warning you left and right, man. We're here. This is our door. Shalom to everyone on the coming, boy. Shalom. Shalom. But see, hey, man, a lot of people can't get. Let's get verse 9 before we go to this next chapter. It says here, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9 said, so even him who is coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. So this man right now, come with all signs and lying wonders right now. So we seeing right now that that what happened with CK. You know, that what this man unalive, or what this hologram, a lot of different things is coming out. The after effect. What this dude they got in custody, was he the real shooter? But you know, just like I said, this man is the master of deception. He is the devil that the Bible speaks of. That's why the Lord said, take heed. When you go back to Matthew chapter 24, it said, take heed that no man deceive you. So one thing about it, a lot of people are going to be deceived. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be thinking, believing a lie, and you're going to be totally destroyed. That's why you got to have the spirit of discernment. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, and who had the spirit of discernment is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Al-Shai. This man getting ready to come with these lying wonders. This technology. You know, a lot of people going to get enticed. A lot of people going to say, hey, man, I got to eat. I have a family. I have this or whatever. Like, they're going to roll with the program. So we seeing it slowly now. We coming into this new digital society where these things are getting ready to come up on your skin. We already know about the Neuralink. We know about the RFD microchip, which in fact is that grain of rice that shall go under your skin. You will not be able to buy or sell. This technology is right before our eyes, man. That's what we constantly warning you about. All these things that's man, it's right here before our eyes, man. So that great tribulation is coming upon us. The signs of the ends are here, man. And we constantly been warning you left and right about these things that is coming upon us at a fast pace. And a lot of our people, you know, hey, how do you get it or you get gone? You know what I'm saying? Let's go to this here, Acts chapter 14. Acts chapter 14. Let's get this right quick. Acts chapter 14. Acts chapter 14 and verse 22. Let's get this right quick, you know. It says here, it says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue, say, in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God. You know what I'm saying? So right now, that's what we got to go through. We got to go through this last and final affliction. You know, the Lord already said, you know, our light affliction is just for a moment. So we got to suffer for right now. You know, a lot of our people right now, the truth that they're not going to want to suffer. You know, so when that time of trouble comes, they're going to take that under the skin. You know, so a lot of people say, oh, man, I'm good right now. You know, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. But the Lord's getting ready to find out your faith is getting ready to be tested. You know what I'm saying? The hour of testing, the hour of temptation is fast approaching right before our eyes. So that's what we constantly seeing all these major events around the world. That's why we're seeing, things are happening at a fast pace. Let's go here to something else I want to get here. Let's go here to one moment. Let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Let's go there. So that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing they lining up. That's fur. I tell you what, let's go here to Ezekiel. No, let's go here to Isaiah Salaki. Isaiah, man running 100 miles an hour with these precepts. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. Because this is where exactly what we're seeing right now. You know, the Lord is setting the Egyptian against the Egyptian, which in fact the Americans, what the modern day so-called Edomites, we're seeing that left and right. There's a lot of division right here in America, Babylon the Great. It says here, Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2, it said, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So that's exactly what the Lord is doing left and right. So right now, they try to spark something with that CK so-called assassination. They try to spark something to get a result, that order out of chaos. They want to bring the problem, problem or what is that, solution and something else, that's what they're trying to do, conquer and divide. That's part of the plan. That's what they're trying to bring forth left and right, civil war, So that's where we at right now. Let's read this once again. It says, Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2 said, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, American against American, Edomites against Edomites, and vice versa. This race war, blacks against white, It just vice versa. So we see it right here. It said, and they shall fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So that's where we're at right now. We're seeing that this man is constantly setting up this military presence. It said going to Memphis. Somebody was going to Chicago, put it on hold. They already knowing about Washington, D.C., knowing about California, different places like they already said about Detroit, said about Florida, different other places, Arizona, and the list go on. New Orleans, right here in my own backyard. I don't live in New Orleans, but I'm very close to New Orleans. But one thing about it, that we're seeing that this man is constantly bringing it forward. Hey man, we seeing the spirit of vengeance is in the air, man. You know, and we rather upon all things being fulfilled. So let's see here. Let's go here to I think it's Matthew chapter 12. I want Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25, if I'm not mistaken. And it reads, says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Verse 26 said, and then if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So that's what we exactly seeing, Satan against Satan, Edomite against Edomite, you know, back and forth, bickering back and forth. You know, we seeing what you call the Democrats and the what Republican back and forth. Back in ancient time, it was called flavoring and the partition, you know, back in that time, you know what I'm saying? So we seeing right there, there's no new thing under the sun. So let's get that in blue letter. Something I want to bring out in that blue letter, you know, let's bring it out in that NLT right quick. But we seeing right now that every day we seeing that something uprising. We're seeing that someone has got unalive. We're seeing earthquakes in diverse places. We're seeing uproars of the people. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, if you can't see that we're living in the end time, then you're living under a rock and you're going to be totally destroyed. You know, it's not going to be no excuse or just tell the Lord that, you know, I didn't hear this. I didn't hear that. I'm quite sure that, you know, a lot of people are on the internet and they have these social media sites, you know what I'm saying, and they can see whereby, you know what I'm saying, you can see a little small clip of a man teaching the Bible, you know what I'm saying, saying, you know, telling you about what's getting ready to happen. You know, a lot of people are ran across him, but they want to be crazy, you know, because they're living in a make-believe world. A lot of people are still asleep, but you'll get ready to wake up to a rude awakening. That's what we constantly warn you about, left and right. You know, let's get this in the NLT. I had to open up the blue letter because here to bring it out with a little bit more edification. It says here, Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25 in the NLT, said, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, so every kingdom divided against itself, said, is brought to desolation, and every city and house divided against itself shall not stand. So that's exactly what we're seeing right here, left and right. You know, this civil war is coming upon us, left and right. I was reading in the NLT now. I read in the, I thought that was the NLT. That was the KJV. Salaki for that. Excuse me for that. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25 in the NLT said, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, say, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. Say, a town or family splendid by feuding will fall apart. So that's exactly what we're seeing. You know, this place is slowly falling apart. We're seeing that America's on a decline. We're seeing right now, you know, that we would have here Babylon, but Babylon will not be here. Making sure we still rolling and stuff like that. Shalom, there's one on the comment board. Shalom, there's one on the comment board. Shalom. But just like I say, we're close here, man. We're here, you know. And you know, there's a lot of people right now. They're just relaxing in their lead. That's reading verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided and fighting against himself. Say his own kingdom will not survive. So we at the point where America is right at its end. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead, Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's get this and see how we looking on time. Oh, we looking pretty good on time. Let's see, okay. Let's go here to Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's go here. But you know, it's time, it's right here. You know, we seeing that it's time to flee out of the midst of Babylon because this place is finished. A lot of people still are trying to accomplish something in this wicked kingdom, you know. But it's over with. A lot of people, they don't want to hear that. You know, they don't want to hear no, oh man, I don't want to hear that, man. I think that what you're saying is not true. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? They believe in the so-called white man. They believe in the system. You know, they love the oppression. You know what I'm saying? They love it here, but they're getting ready to what? To die here. Let's go here. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 6. It said, flee out of the midst of Babylon. It said, and deliver every man his soul. It said, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. It said, he will render unto her a recompense. The Lord's getting ready to repay. The recompense is going to repay. And also we seeing right now, we right upon that time. The Lord is getting ready to do it. And how do we flee out of Babylon? You know, how do we flee spiritually? You know what I'm saying? This mindset, you know, wisdom and knowledge, this gospel shall sustain you in times of trouble. It will be a stronghold in times of trouble. So that's where we at right now. You know, we got to constantly trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. It said, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Said, the nation have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So we know that America has been a major influence around the world, you know what I'm saying, with her for philosophy, her policy, you know what I'm saying, each different thing, you know what I'm saying, major influence. And a lot of people want to come to America and get rich and do thy will, spirit, a lot of different things. But we need seeing that now the nation has drunken up a wine, you know, the philosophy, you know what I'm saying, this mindset, you know what I'm saying, and now the nations are mad, you know what I'm saying, drunk off this Babylon juice, you know what I'm saying. But right now we're seeing that they are waking up, getting the hell up out of Babylon now. You know what I'm saying, Babylon, which in fact is America, modern day America. Verse 8 said, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroy. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. So one thing about it, we already know that this place is not going to be healed. You know what I'm saying? There's no turning back the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know, she can't get around it, can't get over it. You know, she can't go through it. It is what it is. You know, you got a time and a season. This place is getting ready to be totally destroyed. Well, that's what we constantly warning you left and right. Verse 9, Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 9 said, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not here. Forsake her and let us go every one unto his own country, for her judgment reaches unto the heavens and is lifted even to the sky. So right now, you know, the Lord's getting ready to judge this what? This whore that sits on many water. America, Babylon the Great. A lot of nations had lived what? Deliciously off the delicacy of the whore. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people became richer. A lot of merchants, you know, merchandise, you know, trafficking, you know, back and forth, exporting, importing. A lot of these things are constantly happening. A lot of people, you know, come here, you know what I'm saying, and bring their resources here, you know what I'm saying, like China, you know what I'm saying, you know, a lot of our stuff come out of China, you know what I'm saying, but we're seeing that all these things come to the end. We're seeing that these nations are coming under new alliances against America, you know, against the West, against Israel, you know what I'm saying, the least of the flock should draw them out. So we already know this man, not a Jew, you know, he's constantly talking about war, going into into Gaza Strip, you know, trying to take over the whole thing, coming up with this what they call this two-state, two-party system that they're trying to come to split the land, to divide the land. But the Lord already said, you know, not going to be able. It's not going to happen. In the end, will not be able to perform the enterprise. And we will have healed Babylon, but she will not be healed. We already seeing what's going on all across the world. Let's get this back up right quick. Let's go here. Let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 51. So we're seeing right now that war is upon us. You know what I'm saying? The second woe has passed, but the third woe shall come quickly. So we know here, and also it said his judgment reaches unto the heavens and is lifted even unto the sky. So right now, it says, you know, the Lord is getting ready to get off his throne. The Lord's getting ready to come and, you know, and set this place back into order very soon. And also, he's getting ready to set this place on fire with that those IBCL missiles, all that laser and chariot fire from Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So let's drop down here to verse 12. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 12. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. It said, make the watch strong. It said, set up the watchmen. It said, prepare the ambushes. For the Lord has both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So one thing about it, the Lord is what? Is setting up the standards, setting up the what? The watchmen, setting up the ambushes. You know, so you already know right now that America, you know, I think it started with not DJ Donald Trump, started with President Biden. You know what I'm saying? They had just like an open door policy, just letting all these migrants in here. And all of a sudden, when Trump took over, he's talking about he's getting ready, you know, start this big time deportation project, you know, getting them back out of here. But this is all a part of this, you know what I'm saying? This is the part of the plan. So we're seeing right now that, you know what I'm saying, this place is full of what the enemies, what sleeper cell already in place, you know what I'm saying? UN troop, Gurga troop, you know what I'm saying? These, you know, young age military men, they already, you know, they ready. The stage is set, all things are ready. They're just waiting on the green light. So the Lord is setting up the ambush, you know what I'm saying? This place is going to be totally destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Look at those movies, Red Dawn event. Look at that, it could be a Black Swan event. We know that some particular time, you know, something is going to happen where they're going to bring these things upon us, you know. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 13 said, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, said, thy end is come, and the measure of thy covenants. Very close. Verse 14, it says, the Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So right now we already knowing that America is going to be filled with the enemy. You know, they're going to lift up the shout against her. You know what I'm saying? We know that an invading force is going to come into America. You know, China and Russia troops, you know, in collaboration with NATO, the EU. So, you know, we know that this time is coming upon us at a fast pace. Let's read this in the NLT. It says here, Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 14, it said, the Lord of heaven's armies has taken this vow and has sworn to it by his own name. So your cities will be filled with the enemy. It said, like fields are swarming with locusts, and they will shout in triumph over you. So that's what the time that we're coming upon. You know what I'm saying? They shall be like madmen sparing none. We're going to get that in a minute. So we're seeing right now the stage is set. All things are ready. The signs of the end time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, right now, you know what I'm saying? You know, they living in what you call a make-believe world. You know, a lot of people saying that, oh, you know, we seeing that this is happening right now. We seeing that everything is going to be fine. We've been here before. We are the most powerful nation in the world. But one thing about it, that you're getting ready to find out America is very weak. We're seeing that, you know, these things are happening right there. Venezuela in our own backyard, you know, war right there. Also, we having a lot of different conflicts with Canada. So, you know, right here, you know, we constantly seeing how these things are lining up. Everyone is done with the American dollar. Also, we're seeing that these BRIC nations is on the rise, and also we're seeing that the enemy is within. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, you know, these nations around the world, they hate America. You know what I'm saying? Specifically, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So we already know that this thing is getting ready to pop off. Civil war, civil unrest. That's what we constantly warn you about left and right. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. We'll start, I think around, we'll start at we're going to read down there. We probably close out. See here. Getting close. We'll read that. We'll close out. Shalom, everyone. Come it, boy. Shalom. Shalom. Y'all, you brothers, join me on this live. See here. Let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. We'll close out probably here. But we're seeing that the sign of the times are here. You know, the men of the Lord are constantly warning you left and right. These things are at the door. They're not prolonging anymore. They're not delaying anymore. We're seeing it with our own eyes, man. Our deliverance is at the door. Let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Let's go there. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, we'll start around verse 17 or 18. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, we'll read down. A lot of good meat in this chapter here. See here. Start here at verse 18. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 18 said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So we had that beginning of what of sorrows, what the birth pain. We're seeing all these different contractions left and right. We're seeing all sorts of prophecies are constantly manifesting right before our. We're seeing right now that, you know, love a minute is waxing cold. We're seeing right now great persecution is coming upon us. A lot of things are happening left and right. Mourning, sorrow, great death and destruction. You know, that they're here, they're right before our eyes. You know, the birth pain. We're here, man. These things are right before our eyes, man. Let's go, let's open this back up again. Let's go here. Let's open it back up. It says here, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18 said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning. It said, the beginning of famine and great death. It said, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So we at the beginning of the wars, or what, World War III. So any given time, you know, these things can kick off. You know, things can go nuclear. You know, always we're seeing that all these nations are constantly preparing for war. You know, it's right before our eyes, man. You know, the beginning of sorrow, the birth pain, transition of power. We're constantly seeing these things left and right, like the Lord said when you go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 19. It said, "Behold, famine, plagues, and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment." So one thing about it, you know, these we seeing these famines, these plagues, these tribulations are sent for a scourge as amendment. It's time, you know, to get your house in order. You know, time to get your mind ready, examine yourself. You know what I'm saying? Constantly, ask the Lord to have mercy upon you in these times of trouble. Remember me, Lord, in times of trouble, Lord. Forgive me for my sin in this life, also in my past life, because we coming upon some very turbulent time that we have never seen before. Pray without ceasing. Sent for what? Scourges for a minute. We seeing it left and right. These scourges constantly coming left and right, left and right. Shalom to raising of the elect 144. Shalom to you, brother Brakatha. And one thing about it, man, we seeing that these things are right before. We're living in some exciting time. And also the Bible is a true book. It's just constantly lining up. So all the game sales, it's all the ones of all this ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. But guess what? It's happening right before their eyes, man. We living in some very exciting time. It said here, verse 20 said, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So a lot of people right now, they're going on with their daily lives. You know what I'm saying? They're not being mindful. They're not considering the signs of the time, not paying no type of attention. They're not even trying to seek the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Constantly despising the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So let's read verse 21. It's going to give us a little bit more on it. It said, behold, victors shall be good and cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. It said, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So right now, a lot of these people right now, they're not mindful. You know what I'm saying? They thinking they're a good case. Thinking that they're relaxing in their leaves. I'm good. I still have my job. My family's still together. Everything is all right. I'm still in great health. All of a sudden, all hell is getting ready to break loose. It said right here, it said evils are constantly growing upon the earth. The sword, that sword goes into a judgment, and also death and destruction, and also famine. You know what I'm saying? Famine is coming. You know what I'm saying? Food shortage, rolling blackout, cyber attacks. These things are coming upon us. What are you going to do when you haven't eaten in several days? What are you going to do when you haven't washed your body in several days? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't figured out a damn thing. A lot of people don't have survival skill. A lot of people don't have no idea what the hell is going on, and they're gonna be totally destroyed, man. These things are out the door, and it's in great confusion. So we're seeing a lot of great confusion with these psyops, with these false flag events, with these crisis actors. A lot of things they constantly putting into place, to try to make this so they can bring out another event or bring out some type of law or something. And you know what I'm saying? People right now thinking that they're a good case. Oh man, everything is gonna be fine. Everything is all right, man. You know what I'm saying? DJ Donald Trump, we trust him. But one thing about it, it said here, verse 22 said, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So we coming upon that time. One people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hand. So that's where we at right now. We're at the point of no return. We're at the boiling point. The Lord's getting ready to bring these things. Evils are growing all around us, and a lot of people right now are still living in la la land. You constantly, you know what I'm saying? You thinking that everything is fine, everything would be all right. The Lord love everyone. Jesus. And one thing about it, you're in for a rude awakening. So let's drop down to verse 32. There's a lot of good meat in here. Let's go here to verse 32. Let's start up at verse 32. It said, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the field thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. So we coming upon that time. America getting ready to be a third world country. You know what I'm saying? Another man shall seek to see another man. So that's what it's coming down to. It's going to be a lot of great violence, great death and destruction. That's what we constantly warn you, left and right. This place right now is at the verge of just like a domino effect of these things happening right before our eyes. That's what we constantly warn you about, man. It's like a hair trigger. And see here, verse 33 said, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. Said, the women shall mourn, having no husband, and their daughters shall mourn, having no helper. So we know at one particular time that we know that they're going to implement this draft eventually. World War III is going to begin. We already know that they constantly been talking around it, but we know that things are constantly picking up in the Middle East. We know that the Lord is going to remove the northern army and far from their borders. When you go to Joel chapter 2, you know that these things already been prophesied. So a lot of people, when they go over there, they're going to be unalive. They're not coming back. That last and final war right before the great and glorious return of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. The war is the end of all wars. So right now we know that the Isaiah 4:1 is coming. So a lot of these women right now getting ready to lose their husband, getting ready to lose their helpers. They're getting ready to be widows. You know what I'm saying? They're getting ready to be humble. You know what I'm saying? Eve is getting ready to get her mind right. You know what I'm saying? Doing Jacob's trouble. Verse 34 says, in the war shall their bridegroom be destroyed, and their husband shall perish of famine. So that's getting ready to happen, man. We're constantly warning you left and right. We seeing about all these different store closing. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that the sown place is becoming unsown. You know, we coming upon a great economic collapse. We're seeing that the dollar is constantly fading away. The end of the dollar is the end of America. And also, we're seeing that right now that all these nations are preparing for war, including America. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that we're here. So a lot of people are getting ready to lose their lives very soon. Verse 35 says, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Verse 36, it said, behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. It said, believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. So let's go here to verse 37. It said, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So that's exactly what we're seeing. These plagues are coming upon this earth, left and right. They're not slacking down. One thing behind another, left and right. It's constantly coming. Just like, the birth pain, constantly coming left and right. What is coming? Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at, a time of trouble that we never seen before. These plagues are not slacking down. Plagues also goes into a pestilence or what? Disease. We're seeing an uprise on these diseases. Uprise on a lot of different STDs, the C19 is on the rise, and many other diseases. You know what I'm saying? So we coming upon this time. A lot of people are getting ready to be sick like they have never been sick before. 2 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 38 say, as a woman with child, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, and 2 and 3 hours of her birth, great pain compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So that's exactly what we're seeing. There's nothing slacking down. There's nothing going. It's not going to slow down. There's nothing going back the same. Verse 39 says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. Say, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So that's exactly what we're seeing. The world is mourning right now. We're seeing sorrow is coming upon it on every side, left and right. These things are right upon our eyes, man. That's what we're constantly telling you about, left and right. You know what I'm saying? These plagues are upon us. They're not going to slack down for a moment. Seeing the uprising all across the world, starting in Nepal, what a Kathmandu, France, you know what I'm saying, the UK, you know what I'm saying, what's the other one? Right here in our own backyard, the USA, these different major cities, you know what I'm saying, these plagues are constantly coming, man. And a lot of people right now, oh man, it's going to be all right, everything will be fine. And it says here, verse 40, it said, oh my people, hear my word. It said, make you ready to thy battles. And said, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He said, oh my people. Who is talking about? He's talking about Israel, the elect. He said, hear my words. What the word of the prophet, the mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? He said, make you ready for the battle, which in fact is Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. You know what I'm saying? You're getting ready to be tried and tested. Your faith is getting ready to be maxed out. Getting ready to go through these turbulent times. You knowing that some of us are going to be martyrs, you know what I'm saying, for this truth, but even in death, you know what I'm saying, we're going to strive all the way to the finish line. We would not been a foe. So we know when we're coming upon this time. We know that they're coming with that chip. We know they're coming with this new digital society where you will not be able to buy or sell. So what are you going to do when you don't have a job? What are you going to do when you don't have any food to eat? What are you going to do when you don't have water, shelter, when you don't have clothing, when your family is not around you? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? So a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, are not going to be ready for that battle. The only one that's going to be prepared for that battle is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That dropped down to verse 69. Because there's a lot of good meat in here. A lot of good meat. So we're seeing now that the signs of the times are here. The prophets are speaking loud and clear. And men of the Lord, we constantly warning you left and right. We start at verse 67. See how I'm running on time. Let's see here. See how I'm running on time here. Okay, we don't go by the hour. And we're going to shut it down. My tongue back dry. But we're seeing that we're here. Let's get a little of this water right quick before we start back up. But the signs of the times are here. We're seeing that right now. There's no more vain divination. See, can I open this water up? I get it when I close it out. It's got a little seal on it. But we're going to close out in a minute. But let's start back up at 2 Samuel chapter 6. I see these, I guess these damn cricket or something. They sounding off right now. 2 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 67. It said, behold, said God himself is the judge. Said, fear him. Said, leave off from your sins and forget your iniquity, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall God lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. So that's where we at right now. We're going to trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Lean not on your own understanding, but trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua in times of trouble. The Lord's going to get us to that finish line. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 6 to 8, it said, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you being idols with things offered unto idols. So one thing about it, burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, we already know about what happened back in 70 AD. You know, there's no new thing under the sun. This man is constantly plotting. You know, he's plotting against the just with his military, with his technology. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that great multitude constantly kindling over you. You know, and also said take away certain of you. You know, and feed you things being idle. We already know about these FEMA camps. We know about these 15-minute city. You know, also about these guillotines. So we coming upon this time. We already know about that man that I think that Fox anchored that news cast. I don't know what it was, psyop or whatever it could be, or propaganda or whatever. We're talking about, you know, like homeless people. You know, they were saying they're giving them a lethal injection, getting rid of them. So we coming upon that time. Also, when you get around to it, look up the Noahide laws. A lot of these things get ready to come into place. You know what I'm saying? Execution, hanging, firing squad, beheadings. You know, what is it? Gas chamber. You know, lethal injection. You know what I'm saying? So these things are coming back upon us. They say, and feed you being idols with things offered to idols. And all about it, we know what that idol is, that grain of rice. You know, shall go to your right hand or your forehead. So one thing about it, the Lord said, do not take it. Verse 6 and 9 said, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden underfoot. So if you take that idol, which in fact is that grain of rice, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to suffer that second death when you go to Revelation chapter 14. You know what I'm saying? The one that take that, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to suffer the second death, which in fact is the lake of fire. America is going to be a lake of fire. You know what I'm saying? This place is going to be, you know what I'm saying, lit up with these IBCM missiles and also that laser and chariot fire of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Verse 70 said, for there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So one thing about it, so we know that it's going to be in the next city. Every city that you look at. All right, man, you know you're a Hebrew Israelite, according to the Bible, huh? You read your Bible?
I've just started reading my Bible for myself.
Oh, you started reading your Bible? We're very close now. You know, you're a Hebrew Israelite now. You start reading the Bible, you know what I'm saying? The true name of the Heavenly Father, the Most High name is Yahweh. And the one that ignorantly called Jesus Christ is Yahushua. Remember that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Read your Bible, man, because we very close to this time, man. We're coming upon a great time of trouble that we've never seen before. That's why you saw the watchmen, you know, warn us of these impending dangers, because we're getting very close to that time. All right, man, you have a good one. Yeah, but, man, we seeing that we're very close, man. You know, we are very close. You know, we seeing right now that a lot of people right now, they listening, and, you know, they got eyes to see, but they see not. They have ears to hear, but they hear not. But one thing about it, you know, Lord is going to bring this destruction like we have never seen before. You know, when you go to Proverbs chapter 1, around verse, I think 27, whatever it said, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. But when I called, they did not answer. So that's where we at right now. That same rebellious house, they did not want to return to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. And these prophets are speaking loud and clear. A lot of people out here right now looking at me like I'm crazy, but you getting ready to find out who was crazy. You know what I'm saying? We're standing 10 toes down for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? Let's read this here. Verse 70 again. It said, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 70, it said, for there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So we coming upon that. Who fear the Lord? The elect. So we coming upon in the next city. You know what I'm saying? With talking about with the civil unrest, civil war, protesting, rioting, insurrection. You know what I'm saying? These things are coming upon us at a fast pace. You know, kill or be killed, a lawless time. Verse 71 said, and he said, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. But when they start doing that, the Lord's going to lift up a standard also. You know what I'm saying? That supernatural intervention is going to take place left and right. So we coming upon that time. When the enemy coming like a flood, the Lord's going to lift up a standard. So right now, they're going to be like madmen. You know, they're going to tell, you know, a lot of people right now, they're going to be seeing people right now Well, they've been seeing people on the street right now, just pulling them off the street for right now. But the killing is going to start. It's going to start. When it starts, it's not going to stop until the Lord stops it. So that's what we coming upon that time. So we already know that they are targeting the people of color. You know what I'm saying? The Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians. I'm talking to you. Jacob's trouble is at the door. Verse 72, it said, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Because why they going to do that? Because a lot of people right now, they're going to be very afraid. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that during that time, the people are not going to have resources, not going to have food, water, support. It's going to be a lot of robbing and stealing, also betraying one another. These things are coming upon us. So right now, you think you're good because I'm going to stay locked up in my house. They're going to come to your house and cast you out of your house. A lot of people going to be unalive right before their own families. Verse 73 said, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So it's going to come a particular time, you're going to know who the Lord is truly dealing with. The house of David, the elect, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. You're going to know, hey, man, the Lord is dealing with these people right here. You know what I'm saying? We're going through the fire right now, the adversity, the affliction, the oppression. But we know that we coming upon a time where our light affliction is only for a moment. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's getting ready to come to deliver us with great glory and great power. Verse 74 says, hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So the day of trouble is at hand, but the Lord said, well, he's going to deliver you from the same. He's talking about what? The elect, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. That's why the Lord said in Zephaniah chapter 3, I think around verse 8 or 9, he said, wait on me until I rise against the prey. So the Lord is gathering the nation for the consummation of Zion. What was done to us is getting ready to be done to them. So you know what I'm saying? No one has gotten away with a damn thing. Let's go here to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. You get that right quick before we close out. So the signs of the ends are here. They're obviously clear that we're here. That everything is lining up. Rumors of war, earthquakes in diverse places. We're seeing nations arising against nations. We're seeing the lower minutes constantly waxing colder and colder. When we're seeing violence is constantly increasing in the land, we're seeing blood touching blood. We're seeing these things left and right. And also we're seeing slowly the implementation of that grain of rice. We're seeing it. Also World War III. Let's get ready to kick off. Jeremiah chapter 30. We might get that. According to that, we close out here. Jeremiah chapter, Jeremiah chapter 30. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. We go straight to the point. Jeremiah chapter 30, because this is exactly where we are very close to Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? And who will be most in trouble is the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians. We constantly warning you left and right. But a lot of people still think that this is the game. But this so-called white man, he's getting ready to show his horn very soon. The devil that the Bible speaks of. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7 said, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It said, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So one thing about it is that, you know what I'm saying, who shall be saved out of what? The elect, the 1/3 remnant that the Lord is getting ready to return for. You know what I'm saying? The Israel are the most high. And out about we know that 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing back up, when the Lord called, they did not answer. So the Lord said, he will choose your delusion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people right now is getting ready to find out, you know what I'm saying, who our true power is. And one thing about it, we seeing that these things are constantly happening left and right. While I'm doing this live, something probably done went down right now. You know, we seeing that these prophetic events are constantly happening, one thing behind another. It's time to seek the Lord, you know, while he can be found. Because one thing about it, we running out of time. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. We close out here. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 32. Let's get one more. Ecclesiastes chapter 32. I done went a little bit over hour. Y'all done went over hour. Shalom once again to everyone coming, boy. And I know my phone is getting hot. We're going to close out right here. Ecclesiastes chapter 32. I think it's around verse, let's get this one here. We close out right here. Ecclesiastes chapter 32, verse 14. It says, whosoever fears the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor. Who is that? That's the elect, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So now we're seeing that these prophecies right now speaking loud and clear. We're seeing right now that they set this new digital infrastructure into place. You know, Palantir, Gideon, you know, Big Brother is watching. You know, they get ready to have you under total surveillance. And also we know that they get ready to bring this new money, you know what I'm saying, this new digital money, you know what I'm saying, will go under your skin. And one thing about it, we see it right now, that things is slowly changing what you call these laws left and right. You know, we're coming upon these draconian laws. You're seeing right now they're putting these things into place. So any given time, you know, they can call for this, they can call for that. So we know that we're very close. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. Also, we know that war is constantly breaking out in the Middle East. You know, we're seeing what's going on between China and Taiwan. You know, that invasion, you know, they keep talking about they getting ready to invade Taiwan. So a lot of things are happening left and right. War news every day, you know what I'm saying? Also, we're constantly keeping our eyes on Poland and Russia. You know, we're seeing that Russia constantly getting closer and closer to Poland. You know, we're going to see how this all fan out. But we know at some point that that NATO is going to turn on the whole, which in fact is America. So it's already been prophesied. So we're seeing that things are lining up. We're seeing that the Lord is constantly putting the chess pieces in place. And all we must do is constantly, you know what I'm saying, pray. Constantly pray without ceasing. Constantly, you know what I'm saying, watch. Redeem the time wise. Man, because we're here, man. The end, the signs of the ends are here. So before we get out of here, I want to pray to the east. I like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashir, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashir, Rikak Wadash. And double honors to those great millstone while lunch is true. And also to the hope elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Keep pushing, keep believing. The signs of the end are here. Keep believing. We're almost to the finish line. The Lord is going to do the rest. Keep believing, keep pushing. We're almost there. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom. Shalom.